One of the things that I see and I work with people the most is stress and overwhelm. The sense of there's so many things that we have to do. There's so much stuff going on. There are emotions that might be underneath the surface that I haven't felt. This feeling that there's stuff underneath the surface that need to be seen and heard. And it's not necessarily that we know right away that we have to see and hear it, because usually we'll just come to the symptoms of a sense of overwhelm, anxiety, burnout, illness, needing to take time off work. This is something that is so common with people I work with, where they get to a point where, okay, it's been so much, and now I know I have to do something about it. I have to do inner work around it. I have to understand what's going on in my body and my nervous system so that I can take better care of myself. So in this video, I want to go over a little bit around overwhelm and how, when we're not listening to our body's needs and our responses, that we will find ourselves often in a sense of anxiety. Like, so many things might be building up over time, and then we find ourselves like just, at the point we've stretched our line so tight that it snaps, or something just bursts over, right? The dam is so filled with water and stuff that it just explodes over the surface. And then when we find ourselves sick, or we find ourselves exploding literally in, emotional responses, or just burnt out. So what I want you to take away from this video is to understand that if you're not taking care of your own responses in your body, and you're not paying attention to what's going on, you might find yourself in a sense of overwhelm. And in order to work with that, we have to be attuned to what happens in the body. The other day, I forgot my phone at someone's house, and I had to take an hour-long bus ride home. And it was an hour where I didn't have my phone to distract myself with, right? And as I was on the bus, I had the opportunity then to go into what I had been feeling recently, which had been overwhelm. And what I found was, when I kind of journaled about like what was going on, my emotions about it, and like was really tuning into my body of what was there, and the thoughts that were stemming from the emotions that I was feeling, that was when I started seeing that, okay, here's a part of myself that I know very well because I worked with it before, that feels a lot of responsibility, that takes it on herself to be responsible for everyone around her, everything around her, and she kind of puts her own needs aside in order to take care of everyone else. And when I saw that, I was able to then do some emotional work around it, not on the bus. I went home and I did some work. I had a cry. I was able to express some emotions that needed to be expressed. And then I was able to see very clearly that there are more boundaries that need to be put in place. I was able to see some places in my life that I needed to kind of do some work around in order for that part of myself to feel taken care of, and so that I have more energy essentially to be able to do the things that I do with work and with clients and all the things that I have going on in my life. So for anyone, if you're experiencing a sense of overwhelm, I highly suggest that you go into maybe journaling about it and start first and foremost tuning into your body. Like, that's the first place that you start. Tune into your body. What am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Is this sense of anxiety or a heightened sense of tension somewhere, maybe in my chest or my belly? And what is that tension saying or telling me? What is it thinking and feeling? What are its stories? And getting curious about what's going on beneath the surface there. And from that, you might discover that there is a part of you that has felt a lot of responsibility, or has felt really overwhelmed by all the things that you have on your to-do list, or the work that you have, or the responsibility that you have. And maybe it's a part of you from not just now, but from the past, from way back when. What did you feel you had to do when you were a child? Did you feel a sense of a lot of responsibility, and were you able to let go and to, let other people take care of themselves and not worry about what they were doing, and kind of set boundaries for yourself? Or did you feel a sense that you were responsible for your environment? You were responsible for doing a really good job, for getting good grades, or for, overworking yourself. Like, that's maybe how you felt valuable or lovable, or that's how you got attention. And it's so beautiful to see this within ourselves, because if we can kind of pinpoint in the past where part of ourselves might be feeling and believing certain things about like the tasks that are at hand, that I have to do this, if I don't do this, something bad's gonna happen, or I can't rest because that's bad because XYZ. The more curious we get with these parts of ourselves, the more we can then discover what there might be that might have been feeling and thinking, so that we can release what's going on beneath the surface, to feel their emotions, to give them space to be as they are, and feel maybe some grief around some stuff, or some anger and resentment that we felt that we, when we had to do things that we didn't want to do growing up, and we felt emotions about it. Most of us have emotions about feeling like we're forced to do things we don't want to do, right? And to allow those things to surface, allow those things to process and to digest through our system, in order for us to get clear and understand this. It's really important for me to set boundaries, because I don't want this part of myself from the past, this younger inner child self, to feel so overwhelmed all the time. I need to take care of her. She or he needs to be my first priority, so that I can feel like I can give and I can be of service to other people, and I can show up in the way that I want. But that part of myself comes first. If I'm not taking care of that part of myself, there's no way that I can take care of the things around me, right? And when it comes to this type of work, sometimes it is really scary. And I know this for most people who start out with this work, it can be really scary and overwhelming even to meet these parts of ourselves. And that's understandable. And it's not something that we have to dive straight into and like fix and work on right away and like go head on, because that can also be kind of that's also overwhelming, right? But to get curious, like just slowly but surely know that over time we can slowly but surely increase our capacity to be with what's going on beneath the surface, to start feeling those emotions that might be kind of locked away somewhere, to start meeting those parts of ourselves that might have felt abandoned, or that they had to, be a certain way in order to be lovable. Slowly but surely build our capacity to be with these parts of ourselves, so that they can feel safer with us, and so that we can listen to them, so that we can be more aware of what kind of boundaries we need to set, what kind of practices we need to have, what kind of self-care we need to have. I've mentioned this before in one of my videos, but one thing that's really important for me is to have phone boundaries, to have a day or two, at least a week, to not be available on my phone, to not answer messages, to not check my social media. If I don't do that, I can easily go into overwhelm over time. And it's for my longevity, it's for my mental health, and it's also for my inner child, so she can feel safe, and so she can feel like she is connected to me, and I'm not constantly putting my attention somewhere else, but I'm being with myself. And like I said, this takes time. This is not something that we like go deep diving into right away. We build our capacity slowly but surely to meet these, heavier things that might be inside of us, to meet these beliefs that we have, and go with an approach of curiosity, compassion, loving awareness, and slowness too. We need to give our nervous systems, our psyches, our inner parts time, and we need to give them patience in order for them to resolve and to feel safe to come forward, to give information, and to know what is right for us and what to do. So if there's one takeaway that I want you to take with you, is to maybe find a journal and to maybe start looking into, okay, if I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, what am I actually feeling in my body? Where am I feeling it? And what is it telling me? What's the story there? And can I relate it back to somewhere further into my past of when I first started feeling this way? When did I first start feeling the sense of stress or overwhelm, whatever it may be? And what was I believing about myself that I had to do, that I should do, in order for me to belong in my environment, with other people, with my family, and just start getting really curious and meet it with compassion, curiosity, and awareness. And I just want to preface again, if you feel like that's hard to do, again, it takes time to feel compassion and to get in contact with these deeper parts of us. Not something that happens overnight. It just doesn't. Do what you need to do to slowly but surely meet this in yourself. Start looking into things online. There are so many resources online on how to do nervous system work, and this channel is one of them as well, where I'll be sharing more of how to do that. But to again start creating the safety for your body to express what it really deep down inside needs to express, so that you can feel more relaxed and more at ease. So pull out that journal. Check in. What's going on in your body first and foremost? What am I feeling? What are the stories that come from that feeling? When did I first start feeling them? And then you can go into start using your creativity of is that actually true anymore? Do I have to take so much responsibility? Do I really have so many things that I have to do all the time? Or is it safe to let go? Is it actually safe to release some responsibility? Allow that part of myself to feel like it's okay, that you don't have to take on so much anymore, that I'm here to take care of you, and I'm here to help you set boundaries, and I'm here to create a lifestyle that's really sustainable, so that we can show up in the way that we want to for other people, and first and foremost for ourselves. I hope that this was helpful, and if there's anything here that you felt called to share, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and just wishing you so well on your own journey with all these things.